Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. In this video, I will provide a detailed professional analysis, including team insights, total picks, and prop picks for the matchup between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks on December 25th, 2024. The Knicks will host the Spurs in a highly anticipated Christmas Day showdown featuring star-studded lineups. This Wednesday matinee takes place at the iconic Madison Square Garden, with New York entering the game in impressive form. The Knicks hold a 19-10 record this season, securing third place in the Eastern Conference. They've won 9 of their last 11 games, showcasing strong momentum heading into this matchup. Meanwhile, the Spurs, sitting at 15-14 and 6th in the Western Conference, have won 4 of their last 6 games. Rising star Victor Wembanyama continues to impress as he cements his place as one of the league's most promising talents. With tip-off scheduled for noon EST, read on for an in-depth preview and analysis of this exciting clash between San Antonio and New York. The San Antonio Spurs, currently sitting at 15-14 and somehow clinging to 10th place in the Western Conference. They're a solid 8.5 games behind the first-place Thunder because, closing that gap sounds totally doable. Meanwhile, they're just 1.5 games away from the 6th-place Lakers, giving fans some vague hope to cling to. On the road, a stellar 4-7 record, proving that travel isn't their strong suit. Their latest effort? A 111-106 loss to the 76ers on December 23rd, where Joel Embiid literally got ejected, and the Spurs still couldn't capitalize, turning the ball over 18 times like it was a team bonding exercise. Victor Wembanyama, the silver lining, dropped 26 points, but even he couldn't patch up their 33.3% shooting from deep or the 9 offensive rebounds they gifted Philly. Statistically speaking, the Spurs are fine, averaging 111.8 points per game, 17th in the league, and shooting 45.6% from the field, 20th. They're middle of the pack at best. Defensively, they allow 112.7 points per game, 14th, so at least they're consistent in their mediocrity. And now, let's talk about their Christmas Day opponents, the New York Knicks. At 19-10, the Knicks are on a roll, sitting in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference and playing like they actually want to win. They've gone 9-4 at home, making Madison Square Garden a fortress, and are riding a 4-game win streak, having won 9 of their last 11. Their latest win? A breezy 139-125 dismantling of the Raptors, where they shot a ridiculous 59.3% from the field. Jalen Brunson is leading the charge with 25.1 points per game, while Karl-Anthony Towns is snatching 14 boards a night. Offensively, the Knicks are 7th in scoring, 3rd in field goal percentage, and 2nd in three-point shooting, basically firing on all cylinders. Their defense isn't too shabby either, ranking 6th in points allowed. In other words, the Knicks are ready to eat San Antonio alive. Prediction time? The Spurs' young roster and shaky consistency don't stand a chance against the Knicks' polished attack and home court advantage. Take New York to cover the spread at -9 points. And with the Knicks' offensive efficiency balancing their slower pace and the Spurs' fast tempo, the over 223.5 points feels like a safe bet. Game prop bets for Spurs versus Knicks. Victor Wembanyama, over 25.5 points, -110. Wemby's stat line is basically the Spurs' only selling point right now. If he's not carrying the team on his lanky shoulders, who will? Given that the Knicks' defense might focus on literally everyone else, expect Victor to get enough shots to surpass this mark. Whether it's polished plays or sheer chuck it and hope attempts, he'll likely hit this over. Spurs over 17.5 turnovers, +200. Turnovers are San Antonio's bread and butter this season. If they managed 18 giveaways against the Sixers without Joel Embiid, imagine the chaos they'll bring against a Knicks team that's solid defensively. Bet on them treating the ball like a live grenade. They'll hit this over by halftime if they really put their minds to it. Knicks over 58.5% shooting in the paint, -120. With Karl-Anthony Towns dominating inside and Jalen Brunson slicing through defenses, this one feels like stealing candy from a baby or rebounds from the Spurs. The Knicks' paint game is relentless, and against a Spurs team that defends like they're allergic to contact, expect layup lines, dunk fests, and uncontested floaters all night long. Jalen Brunson over 8.5 assists, +115. Brunson's dishing skills have been on full display this season, and with the Spurs' defense resembling Swiss cheese, this is a gimme. Whether it's setting up Towns for easy buckets or feeding open shooters behind the arc, Brunson might clear this number before the third quarter is done. Total offensive rebounds for Knicks over 8.5, -105. The Spurs are practically allergic to boxing out, having handed the Sixers 9 offensive boards in their last game. The Knicks are no strangers to crashing the glass, so expect them to treat every missed shot as an opportunity to pad their stats. Knicks to lead every quarter, +300. This isn't just a bet, it's a public service announcement. The Knicks are riding high on momentum, while the Spurs are just happy to still be in the conversation. Don't overthink this one. New York should own the lead wire to wire, barring a Christmas miracle or Wembanyama suddenly growing another 6 inches. Knicks over 130.5 total points, +150. If the Knicks could drop 139 on Toronto, why stop now? The Spurs' defense is statistically average but practically non-existent, so New York might hit this mark without breaking a sweat. Bench players might even get in on the scoring party late in the game. Spurs under 45.5% FG shooting, -110. San Antonio's offense is already struggling, and playing in the hostile confines of Madison Square Garden won't help. Expect plenty of missed shots, poorly timed jumpers, and what were they thinking moments. The Knicks defense will make sure this prop cashes easily. Over 223.5 total points, -110. The Knicks are offensive juggernauts, and the Spurs' pace is quick enough to inflate the total score. Even if New York does most of the heavy lifting, garbage time buckets from San Antonio should push this game over the total. It's a perfect storm for high-scoring chaos. Spurs' first turnover happening within 90 seconds, +250. With the Spurs' track record, this one's almost a lock. Whether it's a sloppy pass, a miscommunication, or simply dribbling the ball off their own foot, expect the Spurs to gift the Knicks their first possession turnover before you've even settled into your seat. Karl-Anthony Towns, over 13.5 rebounds, -125. Towns has been a rebounding machine, and with the Spurs' questionable shooting and lack of offensive rebounding effort, he'll have plenty of opportunities to snag boards. By the time the fourth quarter starts, Towns might have more rebounds than the Spurs have points. Knicks' largest lead over 20.5 points, +130. At some point, this game will likely resemble a practice session for the Knicks. If their offense clicks early, and let's be honest, it probably will, don't be surprised if they're coasting with a 20-plus point lead while the Spurs desperately try to keep it respectable. Spurs under 105.5 total points, +150. The Spurs offense isn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard, and going up against the Knicks' top 10 defense doesn't help. Unless Wembanyama channels prime Tim Duncan and everyone else learns how to shoot, it's hard to see San Antonio breaking this barrier. First dunk of the game, Knicks, -200. Let's face it, the Knicks are far more likely to energize the crowd with an early slam. The Spurs? They'll probably settle for a mid-range jumper or an awkwardly missed layup before they even think about attacking the rim. Christmas special, Knicks by 15-plus points, +250. This isn't just a prediction, it's a holiday gift. The Knicks are at home, they're better in every statistical category, and they've got the momentum. A double-digit blowout feels less like a possibility and more like an inevitability.